The best book I've ever read was titled The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. The reason why I say it's the best book in the world is because it was written by nature. If you can have a man sit in the wild like I'm currently at, in a park, and tune his ear to the nature around him, and let him listen to the sounds of the environment, and let him hear the quality of nature. Then take a pen, take a book, and write down the ideas that he has just recently gotten on this piece of paper, and share with you the knowledge that he's gained through observing nature in the form of, funneled in a way to acquire wealth and acquire resources. That's what this book would be about, the science of getting rich. That's the reason why I like it so much, is because this book was written by nature. I'm not sure where to go. I'm gonna go this way. I was born on October 7th, 1995, which makes me a Libra, and the whole calendar things, and choices are always a big problem with Libras. At least what they say, that's what they say. And I'm starting to, I've lived in my body for 28 years, and it appears to be accurate, and that's true. That whenever I'm presented with two choices, I'm always weighing between the two. If I go here, this is the consequences, these are the results. Whereas if I go there, these are the results and this is the consequence. And sometimes I'm torn because almost all the time they're equally as good. Yet usually the choice, if you have two choices, almost always there's one that's just a little bit better. This one is a little bit better. So The Science of Getting Rich, the best book I've ever read. Also because it's talking about money, and everyone wants money, everyone likes money. And I have gained a lot of money as a result of that book. And that book has changed me as a character in a way that I know I will acquire a lot of wealth, or I'm assuming that I shall acquire massive amounts of wealth, simply because I am acting in accordance with the laws of nature as presented in this book. So I'm going to share with you one golden gem that this author has written down in this book. I'm going to tell you what it is right now. Actually, right after I cross this little stream. It is this. Chapter 8, if I remember correctly. Gratitude. Okay? Gratitude. I cannot summarize that chapter or the things that I've read in that chapter. It's been too long. Yet at one time there was a time that I could summarize it very well, because I had read that book multiple times, maybe 10 times at least. I've listened to that book on repeat countless of times, and I memorized the final summary of the book. There is a thinking substance from which all things are made, and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. A thought in the substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. We can form things in our thoughts, and by impressing our thoughts upon the form of the substance, we can cause things to be created. In order to do this, we must pass from the competitor to the creative mind. Otherwise, we cannot be in harmony with the form of the substance, which is always creative in a computer. And that's it. That's as much as I can go forward. But there was a time that I had this poster in my room, and I would read it out loud constantly. Not because I wanted to become a billionaire, although yes, I want to become a billionaire, no doubt. And not because I want to be so financially successful in my work I was doing. Yes, also, that was fundamentally true. But because this is the only book that was written by a somewhat sane person. And this book was written with such a high frequency. The quality of this book is remarkable. It's immense. And I remember I'd purchased like 10 copies of this book. It's a tiny book, maybe 100 pages. So it's not some, frivolous nonsense that most books are written. They have to fill up 200 pages, otherwise they're not going to get on the bestsellers list. It's not like that. So I had purchased 10 copies, and I was giving it away to my friends because it had impacted me so heavily and so greatly. And actually recently I had spent some time with one of those friends that I had given this book away to. And he said to me, when you first gave me this book, I thought it was utter nonsense. I read a few pages. This is like woo-woo, wah-wah, garbage. And he put the book aside. Many years later, he had picked up the book again, and he said to himself, or he said to me actually, he said, this is, the principles here are very applicable to him now in this current chapter of his life. And so he's changed his mind. He has taken a 180. So I had given this book away to many people, and the reason why I say again it's the best book I've ever read in my life is because the intelligence that it was written with, you can feel it. It's tangible. It's like you can taste it. It's not some random book that, oh, how to get rich, save and do valuable stuff and do good things and a good quality product and marketing. It's not like that. It's like the trees here are rich. The trees are rich. They're continuously growing and advancing. This term, advancing in life, is a term from this book. So one of the principles in this book also talks about you have to become an advancing personality. This is fundamental to a human being, as a human being. You have to continuously rise and evolve as life. None of these trees are thinking to themselves, you know what, tomorrow I'm just going to take a break, relax. No. Continuously growing forward, expanding and evolving until their energy is used up and they wither away and die. That's the nature of all things, unfortunately. Well, I don't know if it's unfortunately, but that's just the way it is. So you have to become an advancing personality. You have to inspire that within the people that you are dealing with. And, ladies and gentlemen, if I may say something as brash as this, or as kind of, I'm an advancing personality, and this is the reason why you're watching me. You wouldn't watch me for any other reason. If I was on a path to self-destruction, you know, in a not wholesome way, you probably would not watch me. Yeah, this person is going downwards. I'm not. I'm continuously going upwards. I'm increasing my energy day by day. Every day I'm getting smarter. Every day I'm producing more content for YouTube. I'm sharing these ideas with you. Every day something in me is changing. I'm becoming bigger as a personality, as a character. I'm evolving. So you have to impress this upon the people that you're dealing with. Not impress this like, oh, hey everyone, I'm growing. Did everyone know that? No, it's just your sheer presence, and you have to do this for yourself, okay? And it's not some hard thing to do. You just simply have to align with nature. Like nature is already doing this, and I can't help but to not do this. It feels bad if I don't do this. So this is another principle of this book. It's a phenomenal book, phenomenal. Another fundamental principle of this book is actually very spiritually scientific in nature. This man says, like I mentioned in the little summary that I recounted, is that there is a thinking substance from which all things are made, and which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the interspaces of the universe. That's a direct quote from that book. So he says there's a formless substance, that this thinking mind, it's like a mind. We're living in a mind, and it produces things. It produces everything, actually. And if the resources on this planet were to get exhausted, if enough human beings with enough energy, sufficient amount of energy, were to think to themselves, yeah, we really need this resource, things would be set in motion to produce that resource. Now, obviously, takes time, you know, for that to happen. Yet, if enough energy was to be expelled from us, it would happen today or tomorrow, or, you know, time is virtually irrelevant. So that's another principle, is that there is a mind to this universe. We are in a mind. This is mind. Wow. What else can I share with you about this book? Well, coming back to gratitude, this man says that gratitude is something, if you continuously have, then you'll get more of whatever that is. Dogs. So feel grateful for the things that you currently have, and continue to expand your life. Wow, that was tragic what I just saw. This woman with her 2 dogs. Okay, I'm not going to get into that, but people are not using their intelligence when they're out in public. Not at all. I would not do that if I was in her position. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch my previous videos and continue watching me. My philosophy will be expounded as it relates to life. So what else? Why else is this the best book that I've read? The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Oh, I've also read 2 of his other books. The Science of Being Well, which is phenomenal. Not as phenomenal as this one. He's gathered some things from nature that are absolutely 100% true, such as sleeping with the windows open, and you need to have fresh oxygen inflow through your room. Otherwise, you're just breathing in dead air, and that's not a healthy thing to do. So always have the windows open. Always. I never sleep with the windows closed. Impossible. And some other things which are very fundamentally true. It's very easy to heal yourself. You just have to align with the source of creation and let that flow through you. God wants you to be healthy. He doesn't want you to be sick. In fact, you've made yourself sick. Nature isn't sick. And The Science of Being Great. Also, there was 1 or 2 things in that book that made me cry, cry my eyes out. In fact, as I read, wow, this is phenomenal. As I read that book, I recorded a video, this was many years ago, of me in my room just crying my eyes out after I read some quote of this book, The Science of Being Well. Maybe one day I shall release this video, but I don't have the confidence of doing that now. It's very embarrassing. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That is the power of The Science of Getting Rich. If you are into books, which I'm not into books at all anymore, if someone were to tell me, read the most amazing book, even by Sadhguru, I don't have to read books ever again in my life because my perception is attuned. I can just perceive everything I need to perceive. Books are a very slow way to learn. It's a very slow process. So I don't need to read books anymore, but if you are on the kind of journey on reading books, and if you want to read books, then by all means, go purchase yourself this book, The Science of Getting Rich. It's a tiny book, like I said, 100 pages. You will skim through it in one day, and you will be grateful that you did. Okay, take care. Bye.